Hello, I'm John Downey, and we're here in the Columbarium Chapel of the Cathedral of St. Paul in Erie, and we're going to just reflect for a few minutes about praying with icons. Now, icons have been for centuries an important part of the life of the Eastern churches, Orthodox and Byzantine, but in more recent years they've been migrating into our Western churches as well, and it's not uncommon now to see an icon in an Episcopal church or Lutheran or Roman Catholic church or in people's homes. So these icons here in our chapel are a perfect example of what I'm talking about. They are Russian icons. They were given to me by a United Methodist pastor, and they have found their home in an Episcopal church. But what I want to stress first of all is that you can read about icons, you can study about icons, all the history and the details, and it can become very complicated and technical, but I really don't want you to worry about that. If that's interesting to you, there are lots of ways that you can pursue that, but I would rather keep it very, very simple. So the first thing to be aware of is that for our Orthodox brothers and sisters, icons are extremely important, and they need to be treated with respect. They're understood to be almost like sacraments. It would be like in our catechism in the Episcopal prayer book, where after all the section about the sacraments and sacramental rites, there's the question of, are these the only ways that God relates to us? And the answer is no. They're patterns of countless ways that God relates to us, reaches out to us through material things. So one way to think about an icon that would be true to that tradition from our Eastern brothers and sisters would be to see it perhaps as a window into what it is representing, or a way of encountering that which it is representing, and that's probably enough for us to begin with. What I would recommend that people do, if you have an icon around, a picture, or if you have the blessing to have a real icon with you, would be to find something in that, as you just spend some time, something that draws your attention, something that can cause you to reflect a bit more deeply. Give it some time and just see what emerges. So for instance, if you were looking at this icon of Mary with Jesus as a baby, you might be drawn to how their cheeks are touching each other. And it would be a way to reflect on the fact that there's an aspect of God seen there in Jesus that just wants to be with us. You know, it's so wonderful to be with a child who isn't even old enough to understand anything, to judge you or have an opinion about you or an attitude about you. They just want to be beside you. They just want to be cheek to cheek with you, for instance. And you might reflect on that and how that might be touching you at this point in your life. Or with this icon of Jesus teaching, you might be drawn, as you often can be in an icon, to his hand. Is he blessing? Is he gesturing as he teaches from the scriptures? Is he maybe giving you a bit of a warning about something? What would that hand stir up in your soul as you look upon this icon prayerfully? That's the way that I think we want to encounter them as we begin to pray. It makes me think of the wonderful story of the French peasant who would spend a lot of time in his village church just looking up at the altar where the sacrament was reserved. And someone asked him, "What do you do in there all the time?" And he said, "I look at him and he looks at me." And that's all there is to it. Something that simple. I would really encourage people who want to begin to perhaps explore praying with icons or in the presence of icons to keep it very simple, to not have any expectations about what's going to happen or what isn't going to happen, to allow yourself to be surprised. And even if you spent 10 minutes in quiet in the presence of an icon and it seemed to you like nothing happened, no, something happened. You spent 10 minutes of your time opening up your soul and your spirit to God.